Hello, everybody. David Shuster here. Conservative Fox and Friends host Brian Kilmeade is freaking out.
Numbers show the Hispanic vote went heavily for the Democrat. That is a warning sign for next year.
Kilmeade is reacting to this. Democrats flip Miami mayor's office, winning control for the first time in nearly 30 years. Eileen Higgins got a landslide victory over Emilio Gonzalez, who was endorsed by Donald Trump. Higgins focused heavily on inflation and affordability.
The Democrat, first female mayor to ever win in Miami. Usually it's a Republican. This is the first time in 30 years that a Democrat has won.
Crushed.
But they really
Crushed as in a Democratic win by 19 points.
focused on affordability and making local government work better and faster.
The implications nationwide are huge.
If the administration does not win the Hispanic vote, the Texas redistricting will not work because it's all based on the president continuing to get 47 or 46% of the Hispanic vote. If they are misreading the president's aggressive policies on illegal immigration, they love them at the border. They don't necessarily love the aggressive tactics going to Home Depot and or landscape trucks dragging people off. The perception is that they're being grabbed because they're Hispanics.
Hispanic voters in Miami said they were also put off by the Trump economy. That has been a constant theme in special elections for the last several months. Democrats have a string of victories and are exceeding expectations even in races they lose in heavily Republican districts. Donald Trump keeps insisting that any economic problems are because of his predecessor, Joe Biden. But another Fox host, liberal Jessica Tarlov, noted the Trump defense is not working.
The argument that the guy who's been out for a year, that it's all his fault when you've implemented a totally new economic agenda and that it's a failure in basically every corner of it, is not really resonating with people. When Joe Biden's inflation number was over 9%, the entire world's inflation number was up. Donald Trump doesn't have the same issues that Joe Biden did. He doesn't have a supply chain problem. He doesn't have a global health pandemic that was killing millions of people all over the world. He's just setting our economy on fire, and not in the good way, in like the dumpster fire way.
Trump is also ignoring reality. In a recent interview with Politico, there was this.
But I do want to talk about the economy, sir, here at home. And I wonder what grade you would give
A
your
plus.
economy. A plus.
Yeah, A plus, 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 plus.
The A++++ grade, obviously that's ridiculous. But there are some key indicators that Donald Trump and his administration knows that this is going really badly. First, Susie Wiles having to go out there and say he's going to get back on the campaign trail. That'll really animate the right. Well, guess what? It'll animate the left as well. We aren't getting the jobs numbers anymore, the GDP numbers, or the inflation numbers. And we know that Donald Trump, if a number is even remotely good or he can lie about it, he tells you what it is. Layoffs on track for Great Recession levels. ABC says 70% are spending more on their groceries, 60% more on utilities. Reuters, manufacturing's been contracting for 9 months straight. And this farmer bailout, $12 billion of his tariff pot, which he didn't need to put the tariffs in the first place. And the farmers are speaking out about this. This is Donald Trump's problem. He's the one who caused this. The head of the National Black Farmers Association, agriculture in this country has been in complete turbulence and turmoil since the president got elected. This is a man-made crisis.
On Fox News, some of the conservatives are still spewing their Donald Trump talking points.
Record stock market. Right now, the stubborn factor is rates. So once he gets these rates to come down, it unlocks the housing market, and that unlocks the American dream.
But staying on Fox News, other conservatives are also beginning to crack. And they have become increasingly aggressive in questioning the Trump economic team. Laura Ingraham just noted the administration's own Bureau of Labor Statistics is reporting the highest number of job layoffs in 3 years.
The BLS numbers, the layoffs reached 1.9 million. That's the highest since 2023. So what is that? Is that AI? Is that migrants leaving the country? Is that, automation? And is next year's boom in energy facilities and AI build outs, and is that going to be able to really, blunt that effect?
Right. Well, we still have to get like the government data that we lost because of the shutdown. And one of the things we're seeing is that payroll surveys, where they call up firms and say, "Hey, do you have how many people do you have working with you?" That they're showing much lower growth than household surveys, where we ask people, "Do you have a job?"
Translation? Don't believe the data, says Hassett. Well, that is kind of like Donald Trump's own claims and fibs. They are delusional.
After just 10 months, our border is secure, our spirit is restored, inflation is stopped, wages are up, prices are down, our nation is strong, America is respected again, and the United States is back.
Just a fact check on that last bit. The inflation rate is higher than it was a year ago and has been rising since President Trump's tariffs took effect in April. Meanwhile, beef prices are at an all-time high, and his tariffs are to blame for increased costs on common grocery items like coffee and orange juice. Also, continuing problems, Willie, as more and more people appear to be having trouble finding jobs, definitely having trouble buying homes, and affordability is a big issue.
Indeed, and a few news organizations interviewed Trump supporters after the rally.
Listen to those exit interviews of people at the rally. They say, I like Donald Trump. I like a lot of what he stands for. But he is wrong that things are going well in this country in terms of our pocketbooks.
Yeah, he can lie about a lot of stuff, and his base will take it. It's very hard for him to lie about how expensive everything is because people feel it. And, you know, I don't know. This speech, he's not well. He's not well. I mean, it is very, if you just took his speech in isolation and it wasn't Donald Trump and it was out there and he gave it to a group of people at a Rotary Club or something, people in the audience would be going, what? It's very bizarre to me that he cannot have any discipline when he does this.
During Trump's speech, the president verbally meandered into riffs about migrants, Democrats, and stolen elections. On the economy, which was supposed to be the focus of the speech, Trump did acknowledge that some Americans may need to sacrifice as his policy transitions and tariffs take hold. Trump said that some Americans may need to limit the number of dolls and pencils they buy their children.
You can give up certain products. You can give up pencils. Because under the China policy, you know, every child can get 37 pencils. They only need one or two. You know, they don't need that many. But you always need steel. You don't need 37 dolls for your daughter. 2 or 3 is nice, but you don't need 37 dolls.
Former Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill says Trump's talk about financial sacrifice is even more insulting when you consider Trump's own approach.
He of gilded Oval Offices and ballrooms and gold dripping from everywhere, his excesses on a personal level, how dare him tell people how many dolls they can buy their children or how many pencils they can have. This guy is a walking hypocrite when it comes to conspicuous consumption.
And the Trump hypocrisy, along with the sputtering economy, keep coming back to bite Republicans. Voters keep ditching Donald Trump Republican candidates at every level. The midterm elections are now less than a year away, and even Donald Trump's fiercest supporters on Fox News are getting anxious and melting down. By the way, comedian and television host Jon Stewart is now roasting Trump for attacking the mainstream media. As Stewart notes, that mainstream media keeps filtering Trump's crazy rants.
They're sanitizing and laundering it and removing the disturbance and the kind of the bizarreness of it by treating it through aggregation.
Yeah.
Rather than just going, can you leave this one?
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Tyler, who wrote, Jon Stewart is a national treasure. Indeed. I look forward to reading your comments about the national stains, the Trump sycophants on Fox and Friends. But even that team can now see the writing on the wall, and those Trumpsters are imploding. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.